What is good, Dirty Fanatics United? It's your host Chase checking in with you with my co-host Philip Sapp. What's good, brother? How you doing?
What's the baby? How you doing?
Doing good, bro. It's ready to talk some Falcon football.
You know it, bro.
Yes, sir. So, got a good little show for you today. A lot happening with other streamers talking football, with PFF throwing out grades, and we got a little show for you today, and got some stats we're gonna throw at you. First segment today would be top 5 offensive line rating. That's a big one, Philip. Just with Bijan, the type of guy he is, coming in his first season with a top 5 offensive line is huge. He's already a run game fanatic. He knows how to hit the lane, and he's been compared to some dynamic
hmm
players in the league already. So, what's your take on that, Philip?
Uh, almost most in general, whatever mindset we got, you know, with them giving us this grade, obviously we're doing something right.
Exactly.
We got to keep the same mindset that we got going on. If it ain't messed, nothing's wrong with it. Keep going with it. Just keep it going. Keep keep that humble mindset, and then just do what you got to do to play some good football.
I mean, facts. If you look at it, you look at the offensive line that we have from last year that was bringing over this year. There's really not much that's changed. Your left guard is the only spot that's different with Hennessy being a battle there with
hmm
Matt Bergeron, our second round pick that I have high hopes for. Any word on Matt Bergeron? What do you expect there? Or are you a guy that's pulling for Matt Hennessy?
To be honest, I mean I do have a little high hopes for Bertrand. Of
Mhm.
course. But whoever deserves that job, I feel like should take it. I'm not going to be one that's because they both can get the job done.
Right.
We know that we've seen
Right,
it.
and you got to look at it
So
like you got to look at it from the Matt Hennessy point. What's good, Bubba? Appreciate you checking in. Bubba Gump's been a real one from day one, falling over from one time for the fan. Another shout out from 95 North Talk Show, Alberto. The intro was fire. Appreciate it, Berto. My co-host Philip put it together for me, so shout out to him.
appreciate you, bro.
Shout out Chase Griner, bro. Appreciate you checking out the podcast. Hit the sub button, hit the like, the share. Appreciate you tuning in.
Tell your
But
friends.
yes, sir. But like I was saying, Philip, if you look at the battle there and you look at the Matt Hennessy, Hennessy is the veteran. You know what I mean? Hennessy is the guy
Right.
that stepped in last year when when Elijah Wilkerson fell down and wasn't able to play for us. So
hmm
Matt Hennessy isn't a guy to not what I'm saying look past, but with Matt Bergeron being that second round pick, that's huge. That
That's
guy that
high
yeah,
hopes for it.
yeah, usually in the NFL, if you're drafted second round, you're gonna play, you're gonna start. So just looking at that, man, that's definitely one of the bigger things to check out for the training camp battles and just something that, as a podcaster, as a fan, to just look at because these are players that are going to be battling to even have a spot. The coaches have a really hard job with cutting down to a 53 man roster, I believe it is
53. Yeah.
53. So, I mean, what are some of the players, Philip, that you think that could be cut? Somebody that you think is, maybe on the chop block. I'll give you a name for sure. Jalen Hawkins. What do you expect out of him?
Jalen could be gone if he's does. I mean, he can play to a high potential too.
Mhm.
Obviously, we've seen certain moments out of him, but he can fall short sometimes. Which he's human. We are. I get it.
Right.
But with new signings, like with we got Jesse Bates. All these other safeties that we got. We got like D. Alford. We have Clark Phillips that we got. We got a
Mhm.
few others. He
Oh, Cornell Armstrong as well.
Oh, yeah, Armstrong. He could possibly be the one of the ones that is sadly cut.
Yeah. Comment here from Bubba Gump. Hawkins and Walker got to step it up a lot. Very true, Bubba. That's two guys that they've really went after in free agency to kind of fill that void of what we've been missing this past 2 years. You look at Hawkins, and Hawkins has been on the team for I'd say 4 years now. So I have to look that up to
Three,
get the.
4 years.
I'd have to look it up to get the exact point on that, but Hawkins is a player that has missed a lot of tackles in the NFL. His tackling has been pretty weak.
A lot
His
of
man-to-man
interceptions.
coverage, his man-to-man coverage isn't too great, but the man can make a pick, and that's what I like about Hawkins is he's a nasty headhunter. Richie Grant, same way, but Richie Grant has proven himself as a coverage man. Richie Grant is that backfield guy. That's why I think when you look at Walker had a couple interceptions last year.
Yeah.
These are things that I think that have kept these players on the team. I know it's crazy to look at that, but when a defense is ranking last in the NFL in every position of the defense wise, you got to look at it and you got to go with players that are making plays, and that's why these two guys are still on the roster. What do you think about that, Philip?
I mean, yeah, I feel like obviously like they could possibly see a spot, but that's not declaring it.
Right.
You know, they could be on their way out.
Something that another spot that I would like to talk about is that left end on that D line. You look at Ogundeji, you got Ogundeji, you got Arnold Ebiketie, you got a Zach Harrison that just came in, you got a Calais Campbell, you got a Bud Dupree. I mean, Philip, we got players out the yin yang, bro. I mean, you look at it, and a lot of these players are fighting for spots, and Ogundeji is one of those players that may not make it past training camp.
Yeah, I was before we was speaking about Hawkins, I was thinking of Ogundeji. He could be one of the ones. Not necessarily saying he's doing a bad job. We're just stacked. We have
I mean, in last year, Ogundeji, I'll be the person to step out there and say, last year Ogundeji was booty cheeks, if we're being honest. Ebiketie came in as a rookie and got pressured through the quarterback. Didn't make the sacks that we expected out of Ebiketie to come in here and do, but him being a rookie, a second round, he made his impact. He was around the quarterback. He made his presence. He knew how to get there. And with somebody like Calais Campbell, a Grady Jarrett, Armada, that's going to help push the pocket with him, man. I mean, this year could be really, really crazy stat wise and scoreboard wise.
Yeah.
But I just want to give a quick shout out real quick to our first ever sponsor. Dubby is an energy drink brand that is all natural, vitamins, no jittery energy blend. So it's something to check out. Shout out to them. You know, they came through and supported your boys. So we got our first ever little sponsorship. We're gonna throw up this ad for them real quick. Be sure to check them out. If you do check them out, use our discount code. The discount code is Dirty Birds, all caps with a S. Check it out. Save 10% off on all codes. So, yeah, man, appreciate that. Check that out. That's definitely cool.
Shout out to Dubby.
Something we're excited about over here at Dirty Fanatics United. A big topic that people have been talking about all around the Falcon world, Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder, QB1. Does he have what it takes to get the job done, Philip?
Personally, I do. I do feel like he has that potential. We're looking at, last season, he got it put in last 4 games. First game, he did just thrown in there.
Right. I mean, if you talk about that first game, if you go back to it, you're not throwing Drake London under the bus. But if Drake London secures that catch and he doesn't fumble, Desmond Ridder led a comeback win against an NFC South rival, if you look at it that way.
Yes.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you short. Go ahead.
But he basically would have won us that game if it wasn't for the fumble. Things happen. Second game was a little bit more progress. Each game, third and fourth and so on. He got us a win against Tampa Bay. Obviously, he just kept progressing. And I've seen a couple throws to Drake and like other targets, like and it was CP, stuff like that. It just looked.
And this was
accurate.
a quarterback. This was a quarterback without the Kyle Pitts at the time. This guy was throwing to a tight end like Michael Pruitt, which was Desmond Ridder's first NFL touchdown. That was crazy to see. A guy that is just a plug-in player. Imagine a Desmond Ridder with a Kyle Pitts, a Jonnu Smith, a Bijan Robinson, a Cordell Patterson, a Tyler Algier, all players on the field at the same time. I mean, this offense, man. A lot of people was talking about this defense, but this offense is facing to be crazy, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
just think about the schemes you could run. You could run a wishbone with first 2 starts on the road in the swamp, and then in Baltimore. Facts. Baltimore, that game there was a competition. Caleb Huntley is another guy that came in and rocked through Baltimore with Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter fed off of Caleb. So, I mean, Desmond Ritter, I think the ceiling's high. I think Desmond Ritter is the guy for the job. And we can't shun away from the fact that Tyler Heineke is an NFL starter too. The guy started it in the NFL.
Because he can get things done too.
Facts.
We've seen it firsthand 2 years of him beating us.
Thank you. Straight from the gun, Tyler Heineke both years was running all over us and was able to chunk the ball and make plays. So Heineke, and if you look at the way the style that Arthur Smith plays and our playbook with a Bijan Robinson and all these other players, a Matt Collins, Tyler Heineke can step right in and possibly lead this team to a playoff. I mean, that's just my personal opinion on that. But I'm high on Desmond Ritter, man, and I want to see the kid shine. A lot of fans are to the point to where I like the kid, I like what he does, but he's got to prove it. And I respect that. I respect that because we've just came from 12, 13 something years from a quarterback like Matt Ryan. So to have to settle with a Desmond Ritter, I mean, I wouldn't call it settle because Arthur Smith had Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter was the plan. He was the plan 2 years ago. Arthur Smith said it. So, yeah, we're over here at Dirty Fanatics United. We're big on Desmond Ritter, and we're not going to throw no shade his way unless it's needed. And Desmond Ritter hasn't shown anything to need any shade. So, shout out Desmond Ritter. Another topic here today. This is a big one here, Philip, because this one here speaks volumes, and it could be something that that reporters talk about. Bijan Robinson being that top high pick, getting all the hype that Bijan's getting. Can he handle the pressure, or is there any pressure at all?
Well, we all know draft night. That was the guy I wanted from the start.
Right.
So I love Bijan. With the pressure, I do think he can handle it, but it ain't gonna. But the way this offense is, the team that we're building, everything's not going to be weighed on just him.
Right.
It's going to be all over.
Before I give my take on Bijan, if you haven't hit that like, hit that sub, hit that share, we appreciate it. If you already have, go ahead and do so. Greatly appreciated over here. But yeah, about the Bijan Robinson, man. Bijan Robinson is a guy that held the pressure in college. You know what I mean? He was Texas. He was what they did.
He done his thing.
Anything Texas did started with Bijan Robinson. I personally wanted Jalen Carter coming out of the NFL draft. Being a Dog fan, I think every Dog fan wanted Jalen Carter just because he was there at 8. But obviously, Terry and Smith had another plan. Bijan was number 1 on the draft board, and I'm not against it. Over at One Time for the Fan, where I co-host at, we did a poll, and we had a 5-board list, a chart that we had listed out who we wanted. And Bijan Robinson was number 2 to number 4 on all of our lists. So Bijan was a guy that we wanted. When you do these draft boards, you got to do it that way because the NFL doesn't work off of how we think. You don't get the player you always want. So you got to make a little board showing the players that are in the top 10 that you would be happy with. And then that's what we did this year over at One Time for the Fan. And it worked out pretty good. I wouldn't say upset that we passed up on Jalen, but kind of hurt that we passed up on Jalen just because we had a Tyler Algier that did a 1,000-yard season before. But if you think about an offense with 2,000-yard rushers,
deadly,
man,
you don't know who's gonna get the ball, where it's gonna go, whether you're running or passing. It's gonna be interesting.
Very interesting. Let's see something real quick. Give me 1 second here, Philip. Technical difficulties. Let's see. Topics. We'll go with your question, Philip. Let's see if I can find it. What's one player that's under your radar that you think will have a huge impact this season? Give me a player and give me some some facts on that player and why you think that they're a breakout.
I got. Let's see. I got one in particular,
Mhm.
and I got another one, but yeah, I'll work around that. I
Go
think
ahead.
Jeff Okuda will be one that will go under my radar just because he got traded, to us, and it was having these past few years with injuries. People in comments, Twitter, all over media has been saying, "Oh, how he's not that guy. He can't stay healthy." I feel like he's gonna prove that because we don't know everything going on in Detroit and
Right.
all that.
Yeah. Jeff Okuda, man, he had so much on his shoulders in Detroit,
Hmm.
being that first overall pick and then coming out and being injured. That takes a toll on the player.
Yeah.
Mentally, if you look at the Calvin Ridley situation, it's kind of the same thing. He came in, he was a young rookie, he got hurt, he was playing on injuries. So yeah, I mean, mental health is a big thing, and it beat
Yeah.
him down. I could definitely see Jeff Okuda. Funny that you say Jeff Okuda because the other day when I did the interview with John Abraham, that was his player. Jeff Okuda was his player. So shout out to Smitty and Berto for that, by the way. Them boys invited me over to chat it up with a Falcon legend like John Abraham. So that was pretty dope to see. My boy Chase Griner in the chat said Troy Anderson. Chase,
That's a good one.
that is a very good answer. This is a player that I brought up to John Abraham himself. So he was very high on Troy, but he did say that he hadn't seen enough of Troy. Um, he
I
wanted to
get
see
that.
more from Troy. He wanted to see more pass coverage from Troy, which I can agree on. Troy was always a step behind last year. So
Hmm.
maybe this second year, man, that's sometimes stuff like that's coachable. So for Troy Anderson to get recognition, that's cool. Shout out to the viewers, man. If you're in here, drop a comment in the chat, man. Let's chat about it. Who is y'all's outstanding player, and who do you think is going to stand out this year? Who's his player not to sleep on? I'll go with mine, Philip. I'll throw out Zach Harrison, man. I just did a
Whew,
short.
good
I
one.
just did a short on Zach Harrison. Um, Zach Harrison's a beast, bro. I don't know if y'all know it, but this cat's 6'6". That's an inch shorter than Calais Campbell. So this guy's a dog. 271 pounds. He played at Ohio State. He
We
was a pretty darn good defensive end at Ohio State.
Matter of
Pretty
fact, we
big guy.
watched him at the Peach Bowl.
Definitely did. Watched him in person at the Peach Bowl, and he must I say is a very, very huge guy. I forgot to add the pictures, Philip, for the subjects that I had you load up. That's my fault. But yeah, I actually got to meet Zach Harrison, and there's a picture of him holding my phone, taking a picture of me and a bunch of Falcons behind me. And then this guy has a freaking tower over all of us. He just shows speed off the edge. He can chase down a quarterback. He's done it in college. This is a guy that I say in 2 to 3 years as a player that could be somebody for this team. We made a lot of, I wouldn't say vet signings, but players that are 4 to 5 years away from being that retired player out of the NFL. So Zach Harrison's a guy that can be mentored by Calais Campbell, Arnold Ebiketie, a Bud Dupree, a Lorenzo Carter. That's another player, bro. Lorenzo Carter. That's a guy that doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, shout out to Lorenzo. We actually seen him in Publix and actually didn't know that, but shout out to Lorenzo.
Shout out to Out of Your Falcon Mind. Them boys, John and Mike over there, just did a pop-up show with them boys. Man, you talk about just showing some love and just being a darn good Falcon podcast crew. That's Out of Your Falcon Mind. If you haven't ever heard of them, go check them out on YouTube. They're on Twitter. The boys are growing, and I mean growing tremendously. So shout out John and Mike. Definitely cool people. But my boy Bubble Gump said Taquan
Graham.
Graham. That's
Hey,
huge, bro, because I personally have been huge on Taquan Graham. Philip, give us your takes on Taquan Graham, bro.
okay, Graham. I like what he's doing. With him up against with Grady, they done some rarely surprising things this past year. That we had more sacks than we usually did, which Grady did too. But it was because of Graham. Graham
Right,
he took the load, so Grady could get through there.
right.
Now with him having you know Campbell, Onyemata. Dang, there's so many I can't think, but you get the idea. Just imagine what he can do.
Yeah, I mean
I'm
Graham's a guy
hyped to
that
see
I was
Graham.
huge on, and we got to think as Falcon fans, this is a new regime. This is a new coach. Ryan Nielsen is a defense guru, bro. I know we had Dean Pease last year, but Dean Pease didn't have the players that Ryan Nelson has this year.
Shout out to Dean Pease.
Shout out Dean Pease, man. Big Dean Pease supporters over here. So, but if you look at Taquan Graham was a guy that, like you said, took the load. He took the double teams. He was the guy that opened up the lanes for Grady to get through and make his plays.
And players like that don't get enough respect.
Facts. And you look at Lorenzo Carter, Taquan Graham ate up that right side. That right side was a Taquan Graham and a Jimmy Horn. So these last year we was getting by breadcrumbs, and I hate to say that because that's disrespectful to these NFL players. But last year we were broke, and this year we got money. You can say we all the way
got
up.
Ballers.
Yeah. So shout out to everybody that's been in a Falcon uniform, though, man. You guys made it to the NFL, and you did
really
it.
Doing that.
You lived a dream. You know what I mean? So we just a bunch of podcasters here talking football, but it's
dreams huge. we wish we could have. You're
right.
living our dreams.
Right. Out of your Falcon mindset, I can see Carter getting in the backfield more this season with what we've added in the middle. Very true. If you look at a Caden Ellis, man, that guy there, 7 sacks alone last season with the New Orleans Aints. Imagine what he's going to do with a Grady Jarrett and an Automata and a Caden Ellis and possibly a Troy Anderson lined up beside each other in the middle, shooting right through the gap with a Lorenzo Carter to clean it up. So, y'all all speaking facts. Take all these players, Troy Anderson, Graham, Carter, and like my boy Alberto said, he said, Chase, you're right, though. Last year we had crumbs. Yes, sir. And this year we eating bread loaves. We doing the thing. So shout out to Terry. Terry's definitely been working.
Shout out to Terry.
Yeah, Terry. I believe Terry is one of the people that get enough love out of the Falcon fan base. Yeah, Terry's that guy. Philly, any other players that you could see that's going to break out and be a dynamic player this season?
Okay. The other one I was speaking on, I got high hopes, and that's not Onyemata, but Ebiketie. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
It's Ebiketie.
Yes, sir.
Reason why, there is a clip going viral on Twitter. He could have had 3 sacks, and I believe he would have had them sacks if he had both of his arms. He is literally doing this thing, and this just on Twitter in this video, big, maybe almost 300-pound man shoving him out of the way with one arm, but he can't use. He has a cast on his arm. Both arms. I feel like he's gonna do big things. I got high hopes for him. I support Arnold Ebiketie. I just feel like he's gonna turn out to be one of them players that's gonna do big things.
No doubt, a guy that I got big hopes for. And if you're in the live viewer right now, man, if you haven't hit that sub, go ahead and do so. Hit that like, hit that share. I sound like a broken record, but get our name out there, man. Shout us out. Right here is subscribe, live streams. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. If you're in the comments, man, drop a comment. I appreciate everybody that's stopping by to drop something out here for us. Shout out to Alberto, man. Alberto keeps the chat popping with Out of Your Falcon Mind. Let's see here. Where would you rank, Philip? Where would you rank the D-line rotation all time? All time. Where would you rank this D-line rotation?
Like out of
the NFL
franchise?
Falcons franchise, what year do you think this D-line rotation would rank with?
Okay, so I'm pretty much a youngin. I was born in 01, watching. I started back in 06 watching, So I remember bits and pieces. But this one seems kind of strong from what I've seen. I think it'd be on paper, it looks like the best for right now from me living.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna have to see more of what they actually do to say, oh, this is the defensive line that's gonna be that.
I'm glad you said that because I brought that up on Out of Your Falcon Minds. I said, well, my biggest concern would be cornerbacks, and the only reason why I say that is because, and I wouldn't even call it a concern, I would call it a question mark because we haven't seen it. You know what I mean? We haven't actually seen it on the field, and that was where we ranked dead last year. If not dead last, we were second from dead last. So that there alone is a big I mean, I'm ecstatic for the season to start, and I'm not doubting what Terry did at all.
No, yeah.
I'm ready to see Jeff Okuda. I'm ready to see Mike Hughes, a D.
Mhm.
Alford, a freaking Clark Phillips III, man. I'm ready to see that cat get on the field. So I'm excited about every move. But if I were a question about any position, it would be linebacker and cornerback.
I would say more linebacker.
Facts. Out here, Falcon Mind said, "Yeah, man, had to shop at the damn dollar store in 22." Respectfully, facts, bro. Facts. Alberto chatting
No
it up with
lie
Out here,
there.
Falcon Mind. Great to see podcasters, man. 2 content creators, 2 different shows chatting it up on another content creators podcast. That's dope. Let's see. Out here,
Spread
Falcon
love.
Mind. Hey, man, I'm on my way there shortly after my current stop. Deodorant prices there are elite. Sheesh. The boys just chatting it up down here. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody that showed love today, bro. We're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up here. But Philip, before we do get ready to wrap this thing up, give me a player, just one player that is underrated on the Atlanta Falcons this season. I know you gave me already a couple players that are sleepers, but somebody that hasn't got any light at all.
You want me to be honest with you?
Talk to me.
It's because people claim he doesn't have a quarterback. I'm going to give you Kyle Pitts. I'm tired of seeing all that. I'm
Come
tired
on
of
with it,
seeing
man.
all the hate, man. We
He
all
does
seen.
carry a lot of hate, bro, and it's crazy to think that and a lot of the hate that comes with Kyle Pitts is from the freaking New York Jets fan base. I don't know what that's about, but
Twitter is just
a reporter put it out on Twitter that Kyle Pitts was a bust, and he was a Jets reporter. How can you say a man's a bust? It just came out his rookie year,
and
put over
with Matt.
1,000 yards with Matt Ryan, and then he came over with a bridge quarterback like Mariota and got hurt midseason.
Yeah. Really, it was kind of early when he got injured, and it was kind of sad because he looked like, I think it was the Saints game. He looked like he was gonna have another great season. Because we were at that game, we was there. It just home opener. He looked like, oh dang, it looked like, oh, we're gonna have another 1,000-yard season. Let's get it. And then I think a couple games in the season, I think it was like game 3 or 4, he got hurt. Yeah, so
yeah, and Kyle Pitts came out that 49ers game, bro, and put up 2 touchdowns. I think it was either 2 or 3 back to back. Like it was nothing, bro. And shout out to Berto and Audio Falcon Mind. Philip, they can't believe he was born in 01, bro. This is my little. The viewers that don't know, this is the little bro Philip. Definitely the baby of the family. He's the little brother. So shout out to him for coming over and joining me as a co-host on our as I should say our channel. You know, what's mine is yours. Co-host Philip and host Chase Cravey. So shout out to everybody in the comment section, everybody that's viewed in, man. If you haven't hit that sub, like, share. We appreciate y'all. Trying to grow
tell your friends.
We've grown tremendously in the past 2 weeks, man. I believe it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago I hit 100, and we're at 116 or 117 right now. So much love to everybody that's subbed, that's tuned in to us. Another thing here from Alberto, that Jets fan, Timberlands is laced up too tight. God. But another player, Philip, that I would say that is underrated that the Atlanta Falcons doesn't. I wouldn't say the Atlanta Falcons. The fan base doesn't show enough love to, and it's somebody you really can't show love to because we haven't seen him much. John Fitzpatrick. John Fitzpatrick is huge, bro. We seen glimpses of him in college about what he could do with a run block. I think he had out of his whole college career 2 touchdowns, but the guy is huge. And already with a Jonnu Smith, a Matt Collins that's freaking 6'4", a Drake running at 6'5", all these tall red zone targets. The red zone targets could be crazy this year. And I'm just ready to see it, bro. You know, if Fitzpatrick makes the team, you know, that's things we don't know. We're talking about players that are battling for spots that may not even be on the team next year. So, or even on the team this year, should I say.
It's tough.
My boy out of the Falcon Mind, John and Mike here, they said, man, I think we'll see the best out of Richie this year too.
Hey, I can see it. I want to see Richie do some big things. I like Richie Grant.
Very high on Richie. Met Richie back when he was a rookie, his first rookie year at training camp, and got a picture with him, and not really what you say interview, but just chatted up with him. And Richie's a very cool guy, man. Very humble.
Pretty sure we got a signature.
Got a sig. Yeah, Richie's cool guy, cool people. So shout out Richie. Ready to see Richie thrive. And when a Ryan Nielsen, man, you look at Richie, you got a Jesse Bates back there. Jesse's there to clean it up. You got a Mike Hughes or either a D Alfred over here playing nickel, and then you got our man Richie. So I mean, with a AJ Terrell and a Jeff Okuda. So there's so much, man. There's so much to talk about these 2023, 2024 Falcons. It's just crazy, isn't it, to think that we got all this money next year. The money next year coming in, bro. And that's another. Philip, would you agree to this, bro? Would you agree that let's just say Desmond Ritter shits the bed? Let's just say it. We don't want to see it, but let's just say Desmond Ritter shits the bed.
Right.
Tyler Heinicke is the guy that comes in here. Tyler Heinicke finishes the season off and gets you over 500 and pushes for that playoff mark. Do you re-sign Tyler Heinicke, or do you, which he may be on a 2-year deal, or do you go and get your QB1 out of the draft, or are we too high on the draft to even do that? What is your theory?
Say if we don't turn out like we want. Honestly, that's tough. You could, this is a possibility. You could trade down if you wanted to. If you didn't work out, Ritter didn't work out, trade down. Try to maybe get a QB. That's if you want to go that route. I mean, it just depends.
Yeah, because if you look at the free agents, bro,
because Heineke's really not that old.
Really, you're looking at free agents like Joe Burrow, Justin Hubert. These guys are not going to be free agents. These guys are not going to be free agents, man.
They're definitely going to get signed recently.
Yeah, those guys are going to get signed, no doubt. And we seen the market this year with Lamar Jackson, bro. Teams are coming out saying, I don't want that player. I don't want that contract. I don't want that big money up front that's going to have to be paid.
Right.
So, I mean, you look at QBs, and I would absolutely hate for this to be the season that Ritter gets his start and he shits the bed. I would absolutely hate it because I'm a big Ritter fan. It's probably the next jersey that's on the way. So, I mean, if you look at it and Ritter does shit the bed, you go. If I don't believe even if Ritter shits the bed, I think Tyler Heinicke is a good enough quarterback to push that playoff. And if Tyler Heinicke is that guy that pushes us to the playoffs and can control this team at the helm, you may see another year of Tyler Heinicke. This is just something to talk about. This ain't me saying that he's not going to be good. This is just
right.
This is just me bringing you
possibilities.
Yeah, just some content to talk about. Berto here, he said, Chase, I called it a few weeks back. Taylor was our best free agent acquisition. I can agree, bro. I can agree. And with the third spot of the QB, with carrying another quarterback onto the roster, you may see Desmond Ritter, Tyler Heinicke, and as bad as I hate to say it, Felipe Franks. Unless you keep Logan Woodside on the practice squad and he's your third quarterback. Philip, do you think Felipe Franks makes this 2023-2024 squad?
Yes, and only reason why is for special teams needs. That's the only reason, just for special teams. I've been
seeing the film come out, and it's just training camp or mini camp film, but I've been seeing the film come out, and it looks like he's still getting reps with the tight ends. If we look at our tight end room, Philip, we got Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith, you got John Fitzpatrick, you got not Patrick DeMarco. I'm about to say Patrick DeMarco. You got what's his name? I can't think of the cat's name right now. He plays fullback. What's our fullback, Philip? I can't think of his name.
Damn.
But anyway, you got him, and then you have Felipe Franks.
Smith,
well, not that fullback. He played fullback and he did tight end. I know Smith, but I can't think of the guy's name right now. Parker Hesse. Hesse.
Oh, dang, I forgot.
Yeah, Parker Hesse. So you got a Parker Hesse that's there too. So the tight end room is deep. And I just don't see Felipe Franks filling a tight end void. We tried him last year at tight end, and we all know how that worked out.
He just fumbled the bag in the wrong moment, wrong. Didn't pull through like they thought he was going to.
comment here from Bubble Gump. He said, if Ritter looks bad, I'd go with Heineke for a year and see
For
how it
here,
goes.
I
Agreed.
agree.
Very much agree. Keith Smith. Yep. You're exactly right. I was thinking about Parker Hesse, man. Brain fart there for a minute. But Philip, man, give me just one more topic real quick. Let's see. Hold up real quick. See what Mike or John had to say. Nah, Felipe just wants to truck people in preseason. Facts, bro. We were at me and Philip. Were you at the training camp as well when Felipe was just freaking demolished Richie Grant? Was you there?
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
what
and
last
hyped
year.
up. Yeah, and hyped up everybody on the squad about him. One more
Flexing to the
question for you,
crowd.
Philip, before we wrap this thing up. Who wins the kick return and punt return? Who wins that battle?
Mm. All right, see, let's name them all. Who we got? We got shoot.
You got to look at these players that are coming in, like the Blair kid, the receiver. That's a guy there that could be potential. A Frank Darby.
That's
Who else, man? Mike Hughes. Mike Hughes is a huge return specialist. That's somebody that we could see.
That's who I was thinking of. I feel like Mike Hughes could.
Facts.
I mean, I feel like he could.
Mike Hughes is speed, bro.
And I know they did.
We're
not
forgetting
too much
about
on
a player
punt.
like you're forgetting about Trey Flowers as well.
Not too much on punt. It's like last year. CP ran kick returns, so I mean,
Facts.
He didn't do punts, but he can do. He
what
could
John
do
just
it
said right here. CP said he wants
Yeah.
it.
If CP
and
can.
Bubba Gump just brought up a really good point. Scotty
Miller.
Miller, man. Scotty Miller is the speedster of the team.
That is a good one. I totally forgot about Scotty, man.
Shout out to Mom. My boys doing what they love. Yes, man. We love the Falcons. You already know it.
Shout out, Mom.
Berto said them boys are killing it. Shout out, bro. Shout out. Berto also said D. Alford. D. Alford is a name to look at back there at the kick return.
He's a quickster.
Specialist.
I remember seeing him at training camp last year. I was chatting with him too. I mean, he's a pretty humble kid. And I remember watching him. He's a speedster. Gotta watch out for him.
Facts. All right, man. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that tuned in to the podcast tonight. Everybody that just left the comment or still sitting here watching this. Shout out to each and every one of you. If you haven't hit that sub, do so. Hit that like, share. We greatly appreciate it. I want to give a quick shout out to co-host. All right, my bad. I want to give a quick shout out to One Time for the Fan, where I initially started. I co-host there with my boys Jack and Bodie, and they've grown the channel now to adding Kiki. We all love Kiki. She's a new podcaster over there. So if you haven't checked them out, man, head over there. We're actually about to be live here at 8:00, talking some Falcon football, chatting it up with some diehard Falcon fans. We got a special guest, ATL Will is going to be on there, verified source. So definitely head over from this podcast over there and check us out over there. Philip, man, I greatly appreciate you coming on and joining me as my co-host here at Dirty Fanatics. We're growing, man. We're starting off slow, but we're definitely growing.
Only up from here.
That's it. Only up from here, bro. And you can probably catch us this season at training camp. You'll catch us on road games. You'll catch us at home games. We're bringing content from all over the map, man. We're trying to take this thing big, and we're trying to just trying to bring y'all content, bring the Falcons content. Like my boy here, Mike and John, man. Great job, bro. See you in a few. So, I mean, these are guys that are these are content creators that are going to head over and chat with other content creators. So shout out to them. I want to, once again, I want to give another shout out to Dubby. Haven't, head over to dubby.gg. Check us out. Drop that code, all caps, Dirty Birds with an S. Get 10% off. Greatly appreciated.
Check out the merch.
Check out the merch. Check out all that. If you haven't hit the sub, like I said, I keep saying like a broken record, hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share. Send it to your friends. Send it to your mom and them, whoever it is. We appreciate it. Philip, any shout outs, bro?
Shout out to you for allowing me to do this.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to parents and in there, giving me this nice little setup.
Yes, sir.
To be able to do this, and shout out to the Dirty Birds. Giving me a reason to talk and just love something, you know.
Yes,
I
sir.
love football, so shout out to them Dirty Birds.
Yes, sir. The love around here for the Falcon runs deep, man. I said it on the Out of Your Falcon Mind podcast. If you were a Falcon fan in our household, you was a Dirty Bird, and that's all there was to it.
Yeah,
This is your boy
serious.
Chase with Dirty Fanatics United. Appreciate y'all checking in. A-Town down.